All right, let's dive straight into this. Welcome to today's explainer. Today, we are breaking down the exact blueprint for transforming your career from an hourly metal fabricator into a millionaire asset owner. Because look, if you're working yourself to the bone, but your bank account doesn't reflect it, you are absolutely in the right place.
Here is the masterclass blueprint we're covering today. First, we'll look at the hourly wage trap. Second, mastering high-value fabrication. Third, building a fabrication machine. Fourth, stepping out of production. And finally, we'll break down the millionaire math.
So, part one, the hourly wage trap and how to finally escape that $80 an hour ceiling.
If you've been in the game for a while, you already know the painful limits of trading your time for money. Your body can literally only handle so much time under the hood, right? To build serious wealth, you simply can't stay the person holding the torch. You have to evolve. You start out as a skilled tradesperson, sure, but you have to actively transition into a specialist, scale up into a business owner, and ultimately become an asset owner. This four-step evolution isn't just a suggestion. It is absolutely mandatory to break through that income ceiling.
Now, the biggest hurdle you're going to face here, it's honestly your mindset. On one hand, you have the grinder's mentality. I charge $80 an hour, I just need to work harder. But like we just established, there are only so many hours in a day. You will burn out. On the other hand, you have the wealth building mindset. Your true goal is to build a system where your shop produces products while you go out and sell them. You have to completely detach your personal time from the revenue generation.
Moving on to part two, mastering high-value fabrication or becoming the premium specialist.
This is your first highly actionable phase. If you want to start generating 1 to 200 grand a year, you have to realize that the real money is in owning the design. Let's be real, a fabricator who only welds is pretty easily replaced. But a fabricator who can design and build, they're worth their weight in gold. Learning software like CAD, Autodesk Fusion, SketchUp, SolidWorks, or knowing how to create CNC and DXF files gives you total control over the entire project. And it doesn't stop there. Coordinating those finishing touches like grinding, polishing, or managing the powder coating process makes you infinitely more valuable to your clients.
To build a millionaire fabrication business from zero, you need an arsenal of exactly 8 skills. Yes, you obviously need welding mastery and CAD design, but you also need estimating, sales, marketing, CNC operation, hiring, and accounting. You know the crazy part? Most tradespeople spend their entire lives perfecting that very first one, their weld, and completely ignore the other 7. If you want to scale, you must become a student of all these disciplines.
All right, part 3, building a fabrication machine, which is all about scaling with equipment and systems. Look, millionaire fabricators don't buy massive CNC machines just to look cool in the shop. They buy them to replace incredibly expensive manual labor. When you have the right equipment, you can finally ask yourself the million-dollar question: can I sell this 100 times? When you design a fire pit, a privacy screen, a pergola, or even commercial restaurant furniture, you do the heavy lifting of the design work exactly once. From there, your machinery can replicate it over and over again. You can even sell your designs online as DXF files or ready-to-weld fabrication kits. That right there is how you truly scale. And the hard math totally backs this up. Let's take a fire pit. It might cost you $250 in materials and labor, but you can turn around and sell it for up to $2 grand. How about railings? If they cost you $1,500 to make, you can easily sell those for $5,000 or more. And custom gates? $2,000 in cost can yield $8,000 to $15,000 in revenue. Selling standardized premium products at scale is vastly superior to grinding away for a flat hourly wage. But to actually charge those premium prices, you've got to look the part. There is a massive psychological gap between telling a client I weld things, which inevitably forces a race to the bottom on price, versus saying, we create architectural metal solutions. By building a premium brand with a professional website, stellar Google reviews, and strategic relationships with high-end builders and architects, you start getting invited to the really expensive projects. You get to dictate the price. Now for part 4. Stepping out of production and officially transitioning to CEO. I know this is usually the absolute hardest phase for true craftspeople, literally putting down the hood. But here is your 5-year exit strategy. In year 1, yes, you are under the hood welding away. By year 3, though, you need to step back to manage the jobs and oversee the junior guys. And by year 5, your team fabricates completely without you. Your sole job as the CEO becomes driving sales, estimating, and building those crucial relationships. You are finally working on the business, not just sweating inside of it. Finally, part 5, the millionaire math.
Let's look at the hard numbers and the proof.
We've talked strategy, so let's put it to the test. $1.2 million. Hitting that annual revenue goal feels basically impossible when you're making 80 bucks an hour, right? But with high-value products, it takes just 20 railing projects a month, averaging $5,000 each. 20 projects a month spread across a team is completely achievable when you have the right machinery in place.
So what does that actually look like in your pocket? Well, out of that 1.2 million, roughly 75% goes straight to materials, labor, and overhead. But that leaves you with a really healthy 20 to 30% profit margin. You are taking home over $250,000 a year in pure profit. That is the capital that builds generational wealth. You use that to invest into property, better equipment, and growing your total net worth right past that millionaire mark.
And here's a crucial point about leveraging your location. For companies positioned in high-demand regions, take Welder's Den, for example, you have a massive local advantage to execute this. Focusing on custom architectural metal, CNC products, and commercial fabrication in the Niagara and Toronto areas is incredibly strategic. You have a constant, reliable flow of renovations, luxury homes, and restaurants all looking for premium partners. The environment is perfectly primed for this exact blueprint.
So, as we wrap up this explainer, I want to leave you with a final question to really chew on. Look at your business today and ask yourself honestly, will you stay stuck saying, I do welding jobs? Or will you step up and boldly declare, I manufacture premium metal products? Making that mental and operational jump from a laborer to a premium manufacturer is exactly how these millionaire-level fabrication businesses are built. It's time to take this blueprint, step out of production, and start building your empire.